The reason they lost the game, Lamar thinks, is pretty simple.
We just had 2 losses in a row. Games we should have won. We had little hiccups in the game, but we still got to keep fighting through it. That team, it looked like that team wanted it more than us. They was playing physical. When we went up, I feel like, we just took our foot off the gas, but we just got to keep it going.
Mike, that team wanted it more than us. Less than a year ago, this guy was the second unanimous MVP in NFL history. Now, as Lamar himself said, lost 2 in a row, lost 3 of 4. What's your reaction to his comments? The other side wanted it more than we did.
Yeah, Zubin, I was a little disappointed by that. And Lamar Jackson is going to be a great player for a long time. I think he's just young and immature in terms of dealing with the media and what to say. I think it comes down to 4 players when he talks about lack of physicality. 2 on the offensive line, Ronnie Stanley and Marshall Yanda, who retired, and 2 on the defensive line, Brandon Williams and Calais Campbell. You take 4 really big physical players off of either side of the line of scrimmage. To me, that was the difference in the game. Tennessee was able to control the line of scrimmage. They eventually wore down Baltimore. And if I'm Lamar Jackson, I got to be a little bit more careful because you're really talking to your teammates, and they played hard. They just came up a little bit short yesterday, and they have to clean up some things because right now, remarkably, if the season ended today, they would not be in the playoffs. So massive game this week. You have to have a short memory. You have to move on, and you have to support your teammates.
There is no question about that. That's a stunning stat that Mike said right now. They would be on the outside looking in. In fact, the Raiders would have that coveted 7th spot sitting at a 6-4 record. Crazy. But the Ravens and the Dolphins, both at 6-4, would be on the outside looking in. They wore down the Ravens, but I think it's fair to say, as we found out yesterday, there's no wearing down Derrick Henry. He just gets better as the game goes on. What a beast. Mike, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, Mr. Z, good to be with you as well.
All right, B.A. Baracus joining us this morning. You have to be old enough to get that one on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Sign. Okay, so here's the thing. Let's run this down with Lamar. This has been a big thing. This isn't just yesterday's comments. Remember the divisional game? This was the rematch against the Titans yesterday. In the divisional game, Lamar came out and said last year, when the Ravens were a 14-2 team, had won 12 games in a row, they were the number 1 seed. Tennessee rolls in there, and what does Lamar say after the game? Lamar says, we were just not prepared for them. We didn't actually think they were going to be that good. We took them a little lightly, which is amazing to say. Then a few weeks ago, he tells Rich Eisen on the Rich Eisen show, I'm going to the line and other guys know our plays. And then they lose to the Pats on Sunday Night Football, and he goes, man, we're ticked off. We just lost to the Pats. And then yesterday...
And he blamed the weather.
And he blamed the weather, a tough one, right? And then yesterday, you just heard it, they wanted it more than us. Key, this guy's up for a huge extension, much like other guys are. He is the unanimous MVP less than a year ago. He's a great quarterback. But what do you make of all of these? I mean, you said it last week, so I'm going to use the word. Excuses that he's making.
Well, I think when you look at it, much like Mike Tannenbaum just said, you're young and you really don't know how to handle certain situations with the media. He's not the most talkative guy around. Let's be honest now. He's not like you see Lamar just out there, especially last year. His spokesperson was his running back. I mean, so when you look at it, it's a hard thing for me to assess him at the quarterback spot and say, well, okay, these other quarterbacks that are getting these big, huge extensions at the quarterback spot. Not what he's saying. I don't care about what he says. The excuse part of it. I'm talking about his playing ability. Mm-hmm. Do I want to extend $100 and something million to a quarterback with this style of play without the necessary weapons around him if I'm the general manager? Do I want to wait and see? Zubin, do I want to give it a year more? Do I want to take it all the way down? Do I want to just see what it is and run it back next year and add some more pieces to the offense so I can see what his development is going to be like before I just step out there and just pay him like Carson Wentz? Is he worth that type of dollar figure? I understand he won an MVP a year ago. I get all of that. But is this all we're going to get? Is we're going to get second round playoff, struggling to find out if we can even get to the playoffs?
0 playoff wins?
I don't care about that because he's young. Okay. There's a lot of quarterbacks are young and they play in a couple years. I understand it's a sexy topic to say, well, he hasn't won any games in the playoffs. Dude's only been in the league 3 years. Now, if we were saying this 6 or 7 years from now, he hadn't won any games in the playoffs, now we got an issue. I'm willing to give him a pass on that. But is he the quarterback that's going to ultimately help me win a Super Bowl. Is he that type of guy?
Let's go through it, Key, real quick. All right, who would you rather have, Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson? That's easy. Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson. That seems easy. Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson. Easy. Ben Roethlisberger. Tell me when you say no. Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins.
I would rather have Lamar.
Than Kirk Cousins?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. 100%.
All right. But you're starting to get to that 7, 8, 9 range. Is that worth the money? That caliber of money? That's what I'm talking about.
I need to see him with some other weapons, though. That's kind of what I'm waiting to see.
I understand it's his third year, but this is where I really want him to start spending some time with Marshawn Lynch. Just stop saying anything at the post-game presser. Just say no comment. Because what happens, Key, is the numbers start to speak for themselves, and you're having these conversations, but then that's just, you're adding fuel to the fire, right? Like, you don't need to give reasons why you lost. Just say we weren't good enough today, because I feel like that alienates him from teammates.
No, it doesn't, because they all know who he is. They know his personality. We, or Zubin in the media, the media types, they don't really know his personality. So the first thing, as soon as he says something, it sounds worse than what it really is. Because as a teammate, I already know who LJ is. But wouldn't that I get who he is. So
wouldn't that become annoying to some degree?
No, not really.
If it keeps happening. Well,
because you know him, though.
I know,
Jay,
but
you around him every day. You know him.
You made marginal quarterbacks look way better than what they are, right?
I did my job.
You're Keyshawn Johnson. I get it. But doesn't it come down to a point where you need a quarterback to make marginal players look better than what they are if you're going to pay them high-end money?
You would want your quarterback to be able to throw the ball to whoever's out there, and for them people, whoever's out there, to be able to catch it. The problem that I have is they don't really. I mean, Hollywood Brown is a second, third receiver. He's not a one. He shouldn't be the Lone Ranger on the team. Willie Snead is a 3-4. He shouldn't be your 2. Lamar's favorite targets are the tight ends. I don't want my quarterback favorite target to be the tight end. I need him to get the football to the receivers.
I just feel like whenever I watch Lamar play, he is the Russell Westbrook of the NFL. Like, he's a guy that's going to get you a lot of stats, crazy athletic, going to do things. But at the end of the day, like, Russell Westbrook needs to make shots in order to help you win a championship. I need Lamar Jackson to make marginal wide receivers better.
He needs to be more consistent with delivering of the football, but I also believe that they need to go out there and get them a Justin Jefferson, a young gun that can grow with Lamar. And they did it with Hollywood Brown, but they need another guy. Hollywood Brown's he's a second or third guy. They need an alpha dog. They got to just have a big. They need to go get a big.
So you would still pay him?
I need to see what he is with some stuff around him.
But let me ask, if he didn't get stuff around him.
No, I can't give him a nickel.
You can't give him that.
No, I can't give him a nickel.
Because they give him way more money to the defensive side of the ball than the offensive side of the ball.
Not for my quarterback. I can't give him $200 million. I can't do it as a general manager if it's me. I love him. It's cool to watch. But I only can go so far with him. I only can go so far with the running around and the, looking exciting. And I can only go so far with that.
Amazing. Think about it. Unanimous MVP. Only Tom Brady has done it. And the fact that certain guys like Jared Goff and Carson Wentz, who we'll talk about in a minute, easily get $100 million deals. Key not willing to go there to the max from Lamar Jackson because he thinks in some ways, not that he's maxed out, but some ways it may not be what we thought it was. Keyshawn, J. Will Zubin, presented by Progressive Insurance.
No, it's everything I thought it was. It's everything I thought it was.
So you had a lower ceiling than most.
He needs help to learn how to throw the football and deliver it to the receivers. It's everything I thought it was.
That's fair enough.
That's crazy, though. We're saying that about the former MVP, that he needs help on learning how to deliver the football. Doesn't that just sound?
But he's a former MVP, man.
I know the way he did it.
The way he did it. He dominated at that level, especially when you look at a quarterback going over 1,000 yards. That's like unheard of.
But then
nobody does that at the quarterback
But when I
spot.
hear you say that, I then can't go from that comment to putting him in